Hello student, myself Dr. Rasavari Asre, Professor and HOD in Department of Organon at Anantarao Kandse Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Alefata. Student, our current topic is cardinal principle, in which we already completed the law of similia, law of simplex, law of minimum, doctrine of drug proving, doctrine of drug dynamization, and similarly in this topic we are now going to learn the theory of vital force. This theory of vital force is very unique theory in field of medicine. None other system of medicine has its own philosophy, while it is the speciality of homeopathy that it has its own philosophy, and this philosophy is based on this dynamic aspect of life, and homeopathic or the homeopathic therapeutics is totally depending on the application of this life energy, or you can say this vital energy, and role of this vital energy in life, health, disease as well as in cure. Let us understand the theory of vital force and how Hahnemann developed or evolved this theory of vital force, and how he included this theory of vital force, and by this spiritual aspect of life, and this system of medicine is very much becomes scientific, isn't it? Because it never deny the very important spiritual aspect of life, isn't it? Let us take the theory of vital force. Yes, according to Dr. Hahnemann, the vital force, there is a subtle energy within the body that responds to the remedy and enables the body to heal itself, isn't it? And this Hahnemann described this vital force because we have to use this life energy and stimulate this life energy for its healing purpose. This is responsible for the healthy running of the body, coordinating its defense against disease. Yes, definition of vital force. The vital force is the fundamental power or the guiding energy which govern or regulate all the sensation and function of the body in harmonious way. Yes, there is a reference for this definition is this theory of vital force introduced for the first time in the 5th edition of Organon of Medicine, and in the 6th edition he changed the term from vital force to vital principle, because Hahnemann realized that along with this vital force there are so many dynamic and spiritual energy working at a time and working harmonious way in order to keep the existence of life and functioning all the physiological function of the body, and therefore the master energy which regulate all these forces he term as it is a vital principle, isn't it? The concept of vital force in homeopathy. Yes, what is the reason why we have to learn this theory of vital force? Because the homeopathic therapeutic system is totally depending upon this spiritual aspect of health as well as spiritual or there is a dynamic derangement of the vital force, and in order to cure this dynamic derangement our remedy should be at the same plane, that is at the dynamic plane. Therefore the whole system is in coordination with this action of disease, that is a dynamic disease force in between the dynamic medicinal energy. isn't it? Therefore, we have to learn this theory of vital force. The coordinate, it is the coordinating and defending principle in our body is the force or property of life itself. This is the force that coordinates our system. The force that keeps the balance between us and our surrounding. Yes, the various stimuli from our surrounding, it affect our body and we respond accordingly. It is a very important function of the vital force. Very sudden impulses are developed and our nervous system react very promptly, and it is this functioning of the body is because of the vital force. The power that defend us from invading agent, yes, from the destructive agent from the surrounding, our body or our vital force protect from all these defending forces from surrounding. The energy that fight to get well when we are sick. Yes, whenever we are sick, there is no end of our life. Still in a healthy state also, our other function of the body continue and keep the existence of life along with this vital energy combat with the disease force also. The energy that repairs our damaged tissue, that makes a grow and develop. Yes, whatever is a destruction of this tissue occur during the course of disease, this all consequences because of the disease get repaired by the vital force and present the normal activity of our life. This vital force is the power that enables us to respond adaptively to an immense diversity of challenges. Yes, it is very important. We can survive, or any living organism can survive, or there is a power to survive in any you can say any difficult condition. You can say whenever it is a adaptability with the surrounding, this power of the adaptability with the surrounding in immense diversity, that means and making a various changes in our body and other function, but the final target or the final aim of the vital force is to keep the existence of life, and for that he make various changes in the function, and then these functions are reflected at the organic level, and then the changes are come. Yes, this life energy or this vital energy, it is not only the concept only given by Dr. Hahnemann, while before Hahnemann there is so many civilization know this life energy, because in the universe they can very well differentiate into the living and non-living, and therefore the essence of vitality around the world. Everyone know this vitality. This vitality, it is a stimulate the activity of the living organism. This energy, everyone get very well acquainted with this life energy. It is not a new idea. The idea of life energy is present in many of world's culture and ancient tradition. It is often this related to the breath, because whenever there is a respiration, whenever any person observe the respiration, it is indicated that there is life, and therefore this life energy often linked with the breath or respiration. As in the Chinese concept, it is called the qi, and the Indian, it is called, it is a just soul or pran, or you can say atma. The various terminology used in Indian philosophy, while in Greek philosophy it is related to the pneuma, that is the respiratory activity, that is it is related to the pneuma. In the Hebrew, the ruach, and our word spirit, from the Latin spiritus. Yes, this Latin terminology is spiritus, also used in the word inspiration. In Egypt also it is called as chu, chu, and in Japanese it is called as ki. It is a various terminology used throughout the world. Throughout the history, this spark, that is this vital energy, has had many names and been described in many ways. In the English speaking world, it has been called the innate intelligence which carried out the life activity, the life principle or life force, vitality, dynamism, regulatory force or vital energy. Yes, in the science, this terminology used by various other people. Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, called it the vital force or vital energy. Hahnemann also picked up this terminology from the English speaking world. It is a vital force or vital energy. This idea was and is actually very popular in many traditional culture. In the modern world, though, we are accustomed to considering the physical world as purely material one. Everything else is a part of this non-scientific spiritual realm. You know, this whole world is it is a material one, isn't it? And therefore, in modern science, this modern science or the in medical world, these concept of vital force is not very well accepted, isn't it? While as a modern science, conventional medicine conceptualize and analyze human life as a set of material functions seated in physical tissue. Is there ideas of the life, or they totally deny this existence of they not deny, but they deny the role of vital force in a process of disease and cure, isn't it? By observing this difference of the life and the life energy, which differentiate the living from non-living thing, and this concept is accepted all over the world. All living things have an integrated force that maintains and directs the life. This is true whether that living thing is human, plant and animal. All these are living organisms. This force is a form of energy that underpins all biophysical and biochemical process and separates living from non-living matter. Yes, very well clear the difference between living and non-living. There is no life. This car is automatic, or you can see it is moved, but there is no life. There is some force you have to apply some force to get movement of this thing from one place to another place, isn't it? While there is a automatic movement created by all these living organisms. These another important function of the living organism is need food, air for respiration, water, isn't it? There is live sensations or other sensation. There is growth, there is repair, there is secretion, there is excretion, as well as the reproduction. And along with this, there is a very important function is a power of adaptation and self-preservation. And these all living organisms adorn with these qualities which are reflected as a life. Hahnemann very well acquainted these qualities of living organism, and therefore he conceptualized that there is something, some energy behind this mechanism of life, and therefore his description, Hahnemann's description in aphorism number 9, Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, described the vital force in health in aphorism number 9, and also the role of vital force in whenever there is a departure of the vital force in aphorism number 10 of the Organon of Medicine in 6th edition. Aphorism number 9. Let us concentrate this aphorism number 9. In the healthy condition of man, the spiritual vital force, autocracy, the dynamism that animates the material body, that is organism, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operations as regard both sensation and functions, so that our indwelling reason gifted mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument for the higher purpose of our existence. Yes, whenever there is life, life is nothing but only the material body, the material body which is made up from matter, which is available on the earth crust. You know the initiation of the life, how the human being is developed, or the various living organisms are developed. These are the body contain all these material which are available from life. It is a very unique theory of this existence or the human being on this earth, or any living organism, in how the living organism develop or evolved on the earth. Therefore this only the material body. Here there is clearly differentiation between the material body from the spirit like vital force, isn't it? It is the dynamics, the spiritual vital force and material body. Therefore life is only not the material body, but it has a mind, isn't it? Without mind there is no human being, and to rule or to this combined function of the body and mind, which is governed by the vital force. Therefore life is not only the existence of body, not only the existence of mind, it is also the spiritual mind has also the spiritual aspect. It is also immaterial and invisible, just like of the vital force, but it is, we feel the existence of this mind, isn't it? Similarly we also feel the existence of vital force in our life. Let us understand the aphorism number 9. In healthy condition of man, that means all patient feels there is a sensation of well-being. You can say our patient enjoy his life. It is a healthy condition of mind as well as his body. What happened? Not the spiritual vital force, the spirit-like vital force. This autocracy. Auto means self, and cracy means self-powered. The self-powered vital force, the dynamics, that is a force in action that animates. Yes, you know this terminology, animates. You know the animation film. This animation film is the actual living character are not there, isn't it? All the characters from in the cartoon films are the or imaginary character, like Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse, and all these character are acting just like they are living organism, isn't it? How this animation film prepared? You know, this some pictures are drawn by the artist, and these pictures at the series of the picture, they run with a specific speed, isn't it? Until and until the previous images disappear from our retina, the second images appear on our retina. That's why we feel that this non-living organism, that is the picture, of this cartoon film, they are moving and act like a living organism. It is an animation, that means put life in the non-living thing. This animated. Similarly, what happened? This material body is also the non-living organism. It is only just made up of matter, but this vital force put life in the material body, and therefore there is a motion, there is a movement. The movement which exhibit at the each and every cell. Whatever is the function at the level of the system, there is movement. Whatever is the function at the level of organ, there is movement. Whatever is the function occur at the level of tissues and cell, there is movement. There is an exchange of elements from intracellular field to extracellular field, and maintain the homeostasis. It is also the movement, isn't it? And because of this movement, the material body has a motion and movement, isn't it? There is a respiratory movement, or you can say there is a synapses occurred, or whenever there is a stimuli, suddenly there is an action of the efferent afferent. Now there is a chemical exchange at this neural end, you can say, and this all movement is because of the vital force, which rules with the unbounded sway. Unbounded sway means without any restriction. There is a full influence of the vital force on the body, and retains all the parts of the organism in admirable means in an excellent way. This all function of the body occurred in an excellent way. Harmonious, that is harmonious means it is, you can say it is a eksangapane, ekatritritya, in favor the vital operations which are not observed under the any, or you cannot observe with your eyes, or you can give the proper explanation or under the microscope of this vital operation, isn't it? At very fine and very subtle level, it is a vital operation as regard both sensation and function. Yes, there is a sensation and the functions are regulated by the system or organ, so that are indwelling reason gifted mind. Yes, there is also the existence of the mind also along with the material body and spirit like vital force. This mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument. This living healthy instrument means which the body, the material body, it is an instrument which animated by the spirit like vital force, and this mind also act in the life process, and it is according to this life we freely enjoy our life or freely live our life. For what purpose? For the higher purpose of our existence. Yes, for higher purpose of our existence means what a higher aim of our life, isn't it? According to different individuals, there are different type of purposes of their existence. Some person desire for high education, some person desire for knowledge, or the purpose of some organism is the seeking money, some name, some fame, and n number of desires are there, or n number of higher purposes of their existence, and different from different individual, isn't it? While to achieve this higher purpose of our life, this vital force help according to the mind, and this mind and vital force together apply on this material body, and all three together make our life, isn't it? And in this ninth aphorism, Hahnemann first time introduced the existence of the vital force in life. Then in aphorism number 10. It is quite different than that of the aphorism number 9. The material organism. Here also Hahnemann called body as a material one. Material organism without vital force, whenever there is a departure of vital force from body, is capable of no sensation, no function. If there is absence of vital force, there is no sensation, no function, no self-preservation. Yes, self-preservation is very important. It derives all sensation and performs all function of the life solely by means of the immaterial being, the vital principle. Here he used the term vital principle, which is responsible for performing all the functions of life, which animates the material organism in health and in disease. Yes, there is a very harmonious sensation and function in condition of health. There is a derangement of the vital force in condition of health, yet all the sensation and functions are performing, isn't it? There is no end of life, and along with this there is a departure of vital force. Whenever there is absence of vital force, there is death. There is no sensation and no function and no self-preservation, and therefore it is dead. Dead. What happened after dead? Whenever there is a dead body, or whenever any person dead, we promptly dispose the body because the decomposition occur, isn't it? And because of the whole body is disintegrated, decomposed and mixed in this material world, and therefore because there is no self-preservation, the microorganism perform very important role in this disintegration of the body. Only this dead body and only subject to the power of external physical world. Yes, without vital force, it is a part of the physical world, non-living world. This body is also the non-living without vital force, isn't it? It decays and it again resolved into its chemical constituents. That means whatever is the chemical constituents responsible for the construction of the body, all these body parts disintegrated, decompose and resolved in this earth and become a part of this physical world, isn't it? It is just what happened after death. Yes, the spiritual vital force, the material organism. Yes, this body is a material organism, and there is a departure of the vital force from health. It is a life energy now departed from this material body, and therefore this material body is not a living organism while it is dead, and the without vital force is capable of no sensation, no function and no self-preservation, isn't it? As in picture, there is something visible is there, but whenever there is a departure of this life force from the body, yes, it is just like it is an energy. It is not visible like that, but it is a pictorial exhibition, isn't it? Okay, let us learn the next. Nothing can so clearly illustrate the difference between these 2 points of view as the matter of life and dead itself. Yes, from the previous slide you very well know the difference between the what is life and what is death. In aphorism number 9 there is life, and in aphorism number 10 Hahnemann explained the what happened whenever there is no vital force or departure of the vital force. The legal and medical worlds increasingly struggle with the definition of death based on physical functions alone. The experts must determine which organ and what physiological functions hold the kernel of life. Is it the brain? And if so, what part of the brain? Yes, all these world or medical world, they try to find out what happened after death, and what happened when the body is live and what happened when body is dead? What is the difference between dead body and whenever this life energy is there, where it is the position or the location in the body, whether it is in a brain, but brain is a, after death brain is there, isn't it? But it is not just functioning as in living organism. And if it lies in the brain, and if so, what part of the brain, in which part of the brain it lies, and he tried to find out the existence of the vital force in body, or it is the heart and circulatory function, or the lung and the respiration. Yeah, this medical fraternity totally confused whether there is a existence of vital force, because they only believe on that which they can observe with their sense organ, isn't it? Which they can see, which they can touch, which they can hear, and as it is a energy form, and therefore it is not visible, it is a just spirit like force. Therefore they never accepted this theory, isn't it? Still they must have agree on this. What is the difference between the living organism and the dead body, isn't it? Actually the determination is impossible, and ultimately the decision is arbitrary, but the lay person, relatives or close friend can often sense when the real life has gone out of her body. Yes, whenever there is a death occur, then everyone realize that there is a departure of the life energy, there is a departure of the vital force from body, and whatever is leaving behind, it is only the material organism, isn't it? But we realize this function of the vital force. It is not a matter of brain or heart still functioning, but one of the vitality and responsiveness that define the life. Yes, the vital force is not lies on a brain or on a heart or lungs, but it is a vital function which operate all the organ and system very harmonious way. There is a lot being said in these two aphorisms, but the following generalization can be made. Yes, this point we are take out from the aphorism number 9 and aphorism number 10. The vital force is the immaterial energy that regulates, regenerate and reproduce the organism, all according to the characteristic form of species. Yes, this immaterial energy or this vital force has energy to not only regulate the body, but it regenerate. There is every cell has its own lifespan and has its only fate, and after this death of the cell there is the regeneration of the new cell and reproduce. The reproduction is also the important function of the living organism, and it all according to the characteristic form of the species. Yes, the mango, the seed of the mango may develop the mango plant, and the seed of the you can say seed of the another plant, it is a very different type of lemon also. The seed of the lemon plant may develop the lemon plant. It is not possible that the lemon may develop on the mango plant and mangoes are developed on the lemon, but this characteristic of feature of the species is also maintained by the vital force. It is stored energy in seed, isn't it? Whenever this seed germinate and develop into plant which follow the specific characteristic feature of the species. Similarly, in animal also, cat give birth to the kitten one, and dog give birth to the puppies. Similarly, human being also produce the little human being, that is a fetus. In other words, If blood chemistry get out of balance because of something eaten, then the vital force guides it towards the norm of human being, not of dog. Yes, that means whatever is a physiological function and pathophysiological function and biochemical functions which are all governed or influenced by the vital force and regulated by the vital force. The physiology of the human being is different than that of the any other animal. In the embryonic stage, it makes sure the lungs are human lungs as limited by our inheritance. Yes, you know the embryo, the different stages of development of embryo. At a particular stage, all living organism resembling, but after some week, these are developed according with the characteristics feature of their species. Yes, man develop into man and fish develop as a fish or dog develop as a dog. It guides the maturation of the female out of the reproductive stage and so on. It makes sure the purpose of being human can be fulfilled. Yes, there is a reproduction is very well regulated by the vital force. Yes, let us see the characteristic feature of the spiritual vital force. In healthy condition of human, the spiritual vital force, the dynamics that animates the material body, yes, which make movement of the material body, rules with unbounded sway. It is not ruled by from any external energy, but it itself rule and influence the whole body. Retain all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regard both sensation and functions. So, mind can freely employ this healthy instrument for the higher purpose of our existence. It is the explanation given by Dr. Hahnemann. Let us see the characteristic feature of the vital force. It is immaterial, invisible, spiritual, automatic, autocratic, dynamic, instinctive and unintelligent. Let us see in a descriptive way. What do you mean by immaterial? Immaterial means which is not made up by any matter or by any material. Therefore, it has no volume, no weight and cannot measure in length. It is an immaterial thing. It is as it is not made up of matter, it is invisible. Invisible, it cannot see with our eyes. As it is immaterial, it does not occupy the space and therefore not visible to eyes and not able to feel by any sense organ. Then the spiritual, it is just like a spiritual force. You know the spirit, whenever there is a ether kept in, whenever ether kept in a dish, you see the it is all vaporized and you feel the existence of the spirit in this or the ether in the surrounding, but you can't observe it with your sense organ. Similar force is there. It is the spiritual. This means immaterial, not perceptible to our senses. It is not see with our your eyes or not hear by your ear. It is not taste. It has no specific aroma. It is just like a spiritual. It is cognizable by its effect when works through material body. Hence is a spirit like. Then it is a autocratic. Auto means self and cratic. This cratic word is derived from the word cratics, means self-powered. It is rule or powered. So autocratic means self-powered. It is a supreme authority in our body, ruling in its own way. Yes, it is not ruled or it is not ruled by or influenced by any other outside energy, but it is a self-energetic. And it, since our since the union of the sperm and ovum, whatever is the energy in life and energy or vital force in a ovum and the sperm, this unicellular things are get together, and whenever there is a fertilization, this life energy create a new life, isn't it? And therefore it is a self powered. Then it is automatic. Auto, self, and matic means acting at a movement. It is a self acting and self moving. The vital force is self acting force that animates the whole organism. It reacts spontaneously to all stimuli against itself. Yes, this automatic, there is automatic reaction, motion, spontaneous action to the external stimuli. Dynamic. The word dynamic means force in action. The vital force has its qualitative action and action that is dynamic action. This that instinctive means it is an inborn quality, isn't it? This instinctive and unintelligent. What do you mean by unintelligent? Because vital force does not have the power to judge and compare. That is, they themselves cannot change their function according to the situation and works through their own instinct, hence called unintelligent, isn't it? Because there is no mechanism to change the circumstances and or make a change immediately according to the circumstances, but it is whenever there is a derangement, there is no self mechanism to remove this disease from our body, and therefore Hahnemann call it is an unintelligent force, isn't it? Instinct refer to inform gross ability to which isn't guided by reasoning. Yes, it is an inborn instinct. And let us learn the role of vital force in life, health and disease and cure. What is the role of vital force in life? Homeopaths believe that the vital force is what gives life to a person. But what is the vital force? The vital force is what makes flesh, blood, bones, cytoplasm, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, DNA and RNA work together to create a life. The vital force is energy, an invisible energy that gives the person to his or her own unique qualities and their personal drives to live. Homeopaths describe the vital force as an energy that not only pushes the living body in health but also in disease. This vital force or energy force is what a person carries within themselves from the moment they are conceived until their death. Yes, this vital force is whenever conceived, whenever the conception is there is a fertilization of the sperm and ovum. Since that moment the life is started. Its energy must flow uninterruptedly, otherwise negative symptoms can develop. Blocked energy creates stagnation, allowing illnesses to take hold of the tissues and organs in the body. There are viruses, bacteria and parasites around us all the time, but they can only affect the weakened vital force. When the vital force is strong and unencumbered, these intruders have no effect on the body. Yes, whenever the vital force in a health and react very promptly, no other viruses, bacteria, parasite from the external circumstances affect the healthy body. Conversely, if the energy is blocked and stagnant, they may grab hold and make the person ill. Whenever the vital energy is weakened, vital force is weakened, then only the this disease force is able to overpower vital force. Otherwise, vital force very promptly combat with the disease force. The role of vital force in health. All living things have an integrated force that maintains and directs life. This is true whether the living thing is human, plant or animal. This force is a form of energy that underpins all the biophysical and biochemical process and separates living from non-living matter. In health, it is this spirit-like force that governs the life and maintains all the bodily sensation and function in equilibrium. The vital force is an energy that enables all living things to self-heal and to preserve life by adapting to environmental changes. Yes, in healthy condition, whenever the body influence or whenever there is an assault from the outside, vital force react very promptly in order to preserve the life, isn't it? This very instinctive mechanism of the vital force. In the case of human body, the vital force directs the different body system to function as a harmonious whole. In much as same way, a conductor directs the separate parts of an orchestra to produce a single pleasing piece of music. Yes, in the life process, the material organism is made up of different system, and this different system made up of different organs. This different organ made up of different tissues, and the tissues are made up of cell. Then each and every cell, whenever each and every cell function regularly and normally, then the system will function normally. And the various system, that is the respiratory system, then cardiovascular system, digestive system, nervous system, all these systems are working in a coordination and cooperation, isn't it? No other system become hurdle in the function of the another system, but the harmonious sensation and functioning is there. For example, if we suddenly see or whenever there is a fear or fright, then because of this sudden fear and fright, our hormonal system gets stimulated, and this endocrine system get stimulated, and there is a secretion of cortisol, isn't it, against this sensation of fear and fright, and this cortisol reacted in to save the human organism from this unwanted stimuli, isn't it, and by making a different type of different mechanism in our body. So similar, this it is very good example that this vital force act as a conductor of orchestra which produces single and pleasing piece of music. Homeopaths believe that this vital force determines our state of health throughout a person's entire life. Homeopaths describe the vital force as an energy that not only pushes the living body in health but also in disease. A healthy vital force maintains a healthy mind and body, and weakened or blocked vital force will allow illness to enter the person. Yes, this weakened and blocked vital force because of our bad habit or because of our exciting cause or maintaining cause weaken the vital force, and then the person will become sick. Conversely, if energy is blocked and stagnant, they may grab hold and make the person ill. There is illness occur because of the blockage or the free flowing energy of the vital force. because of any reason. Therefore, role of vital force in disease. What makes us sick? The deranged, disturbed, disharmonious flow of vital force or energy makes us sick. Disease is not tonsillitis or headache or bacteria. These are all effect and end product of disease. The real sickness is the disturbance in the normal functioning of vitality. Yes, there is a disturbance in the normal functioning of vitality and which affect the disease. When a person falls ill, it is only his spiritual, self-acting, automatic vital force everywhere present in the organism, which primarily deranged by the dynamic influence upon it of a morbific disease causing agent which is inimical to life. It is only vital force deranged to such an abnormal state which can furnish the organism with its disagreeable sensation and incline it to the regular process which we call symptom or disease. Hence, in disease, there is dynamic derangement of the vital force which leads to disharmony and alteration of all the bodily function and sensation. Yes, because of the dynamic derangement of the vital force which resulted into the disharmony and alteration of the normal sensation and function of the body. To the homeopath, symptoms are an expression of the vital force of a person. They surface as an attempt by the vital force to stabilize or cleanse the entire system when it becomes disordered. But they are not the disorder itself. Yes, these symptoms are produced by the vital force because these internal derangement of the vital force is manifested outwardly, and we may realize that there is a derangement of the vital force. Therefore, symptoms are very much important. Ideally, when the system is adequately stabilized or cleansed, the symptoms disappear. Whenever by and its own energy of vital force, this recovery is there, then all these symptoms are disappear. When a plant and animal is diseased or when we become unwell, we often look to the symptom as the cause of the problem. Yes, and therefore we only know the symptom are the problematic for us, but it is not a problem, it is a guideline. In reality, symptoms are only the secondary changes products of the deeper disturbances. Apart from injury, the symptoms of disease and ill health can only occur when there has been a disruption of the energetic vital force. This disruption can occur from psyche, that is a mental, first at the mental plane, then physical. Shocks such as deep grief, prolonged anxiety, terror, disappointment, or even extreme joy. These physical shocks can come from infectious disease, exposure to the elements, trauma, malnutrition, extreme exertion, and so on. The vital force, when disrupted energetically by one of these shocks, enters a struggle to regain its balance and preserve life. Yes, whenever there is a derangement of the vital force, at the commencement, vital force combat with this disease force in order to regain its balance and preserve life, and therefore the symptoms occur against this. In the course of this struggle, the vital force produces signs and symptoms. These are not the disturbance but only the product of the struggle. In the case of acute problems such as flu, gastroenteritis and headache, the vital force is successful and we recover. Sometimes it is unable to regain balance though, and the sufferer dies. On the other occasion, the acute problem gradually changes into a chronic disease. You can say the role of vital force in cure. The goal of homeopathy is to restore balance to the person's vital force. The homeopathy's goal is to find the correct homeopathic remedy for the patient. The energy of the homeopathic remedy has to match the energy of the person's vital force. The homeopathic remedy's job is to help initiate the movement of the person's energy when it is lacking and unblock the energy if it is blocked. Homeopathic medicine's goal is in illness is to stimulate the person's own vital force to get back its balance. So the person's own body will able to ultimately heal itself. Yes, it is a concept of cure in homeopathy. And for the selection of remedy, the symptoms are very much important, and the symptoms are not only a way in which a homeopath become familiar with the vital force of a patient. The nature of the vital force also manifests itself in a myriad of traits, habits or signs in every individual. These might include the types of food that a person might like or dislike, the nature and position of sleep, and the temperament of the patient, and the host of the other details that seem otherwise insignificant to the problem at hand. The more particular the information or the more peculiar the trait, the more is understood about the vital force. The homeopath seeks out the characteristics that are special and unique to that person in order to understand the nature of his or her vital force. Yes, perhaps this potentized medicine do interact with our vital force. Perhaps they do breach our physical, mental and energy realm of our existence. This potentized medicine, by this doctrine of drug dynamization, you learn that this drug, because of this process of potentization, this drug reach to the, or it becomes spiritual, and only drug energy react with the vital force, and it regain and it give the energy to the vital force, and vital force are, whenever there is a block, it get clear, and this flow of energy is now corrected, and it now recover the and give the strength to the vital force. It is very important. It is the gist of this theory of vital force. Every system of medicine has its own theories of causation of disease. In addition to the theories of causation described in modern microbiology and pathology, homeopathy believes in the theory of vital force. Yes, it is very important theory, and the role of vital force in disease and in cure. Okay, thank you very much.